Testing. Hello. What do we got? Audio is on. Video is on. Mic is on. Hello and welcome. As you come in, say hello. Let me know where you're from. I actually am constantly blown away by how global our community is. The UIG, I think we have like every corner of the globe we have. And on YouTube, it always blows me away with how cool is technology where human beings can connect at the same place, same time, no matter where you live. That is cool. That is the power of the internet. And crypto to me shares that same like fundamental philosophy. It just breaks down walls and barriers. So that's pretty cool. So can you hear me and see me? Actually, let's check that first. Why am I not seeing anything? Oh, I can. Awesome. Hello, South Louisiana. Welcome in. Thanks for being here. We have a lot on the docket today. I want to talk crypto DeFi, talk about some positions. Honestly, like I'm going to simplify things. We stick to blue chip, just so you know, and you can make a lot of bank with blue chips, both in your bull run, in your treasury, and in your yield farm, in your DeFi, in your cash flow positions. And I'm going to show you how it all works together. Netherlands, Las Vegas, keep them coming. Let me know where you're from. Then I want to talk about really briefly the compound effect versus the effect of velocity and how DeFi can help you build velocity, which is like compound on steroids. And if y'all's want, I'm going to have enough people who want it. I'm happy to show you behind the scenes of the tool that we're building. It is a beast of a project, but it's going to be our contribution to the DeFi space. I want crypto and DeFi and yield farming and generating cash flow and investing to be accessible to absolutely anyone and just simplify the whole damn thing, because every tool and everything is so complicated, and it doesn't have to be. So we will spend whatever it takes to make a tool that will also help educate people. My vision for it is, as you're using it, maybe you're newer to this space. It's like, oh, hey, you can hover over something and it'll give you education at the same time. Maybe link out to some of our videos, this or that, just to make it easy. And if our tool is sensing that you're building a high risk portfolio or you're about to do something you shouldn't, it'll actually warn you. Like we just want to, instead of having thousands of opportunities that pop up, it goes through our filter, shows you some of the top, like we're talking 30, 40 positions instead of thousands. It filters out the meme coins. It filters out the crap coins. We can push notifications as a team for like opportunity of the week. It's going to be pretty freaking cool. It's going to do your bull run bag tracking simulation. It's of course going to do your crypto, your DeFi, your yield farming, your position finder, position management, the whole nine. It's going to be pretty badass. So I also have a rule. I don't know if you're new to me or if you have, if you're in Fast Track or if you're in the UIG, which hopefully you are, but if you're not, it's okay. If you know how I roll, I expect 100% engagement. Don't be a passive learner. Don't join stuff to just sit there. I know sometimes we think we're too smart or we're too good or we don't need it. I spent over 140 grand last year. This year, I'll blow past that on coaching, on mentorship, on support. I value time. And when I say I value time, I actually mean it, because I'm happy to buy time. I don't want to figure stuff out by myself. And this isn't a pitch. Like, you're on YouTube, so you're learning something. Awesome. But what I'm getting at is when I don't care if it's free or if I'm paying for it, I want to be invested in it. And so this is free right now. It's easy to not feel invested. If you paid 10 grand to be here, you would probably have a notebook, a pen. You'd probably have questions ready to go because you would be invested in it. Now, I am all for doing free stuff and I will continue to do it, but I want you to treat it like it's paid. So please show up. There's just show up, use the comments, engage with others, learn stuff, ask questions. Can I get an okay with that? Hit the like. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe to this channel, because I'm not giving up on free. Okay, where are we all from here? We got South Louisiana. We got the Netherlands, Henry Spies, Las Vegas. What's up? Brooklyn, New York. Lubbock. Lubbock, Texas. Crypto Price says, let's go. We got Missouri. We got Malaysia. That's amazing. Portugal. Let's go, Colleen. So awesome. Portugal. I have a lot of people I knew who went down to Portugal a few years ago. And they actually built some really, really cool crypto portfolios and protocols. And they got really, really deep in that. We got Sweden. We got Costa Rica. We got Germany. Let's go. Indiana. How cool is that? Where is that? I don't know where that is, but that's badass. Denmark, what's up? Think about how cool this is the internet came around and it broke down walls. It broke down barriers. Italy, let's go. Brazil, let's go. Washington, I was just in Washington. Picking up a transmission for an R8 because I blew mine because I'm crazy. Adam, I actually sent you an email today. I was stoked to see your application. By the way, we are hiring. If you're interested, do let me know. I can drop a link. We are not your average team. We move and we move fast. But Adam, I saw your application come in and it really, really piqued my interest because Vernon, I'm in Kelowna, could be a really, really awesome opportunity. Shot you an email there. I will definitely connect with you. Very interested in continuing that conversation. Sweet, Spain, Pennsylvania. Awesome. The internet came around and broke down barriers. We can all connect here. There is zero excuse to not connect and search and find the information or the people you need anymore. It's just not. Rwanda, Pennsylvania, Switzerland, which is super cool. To me, when I saw kind of crypto, not at first, I wasn't, when Bitcoin was $1, I wasn't in it, just so you know. But as I got educated on it and I started studying it, I'm like, this is like the internet on steroids. And I'd love to know in the comments actually, because this will dictate what kind of investor you are and if you're investing. Because one comment we get a lot is now a good time to invest? I want to ask this actually to the community here. Will crypto, and especially DeFi, and we could throw Bitcoin in there, be bigger in 10 years than it is now? We're at a $3.7 trillion market cap. Do you see crypto, DeFi being bigger in 10 years than it is now? And curious, what do you think the market cap could be? If you had to make a prediction, the market cap of the space is 3.6, 3.7 trillion, which is nothing. That's a lot for an individual, but not a lot for an entire vertical, for an entire space. Yes. It will be bigger, but will be much smaller a few times between. Yes. I almost always get yes. Almost always. Of course, it's like, well, we're going to go through some. Absolutely. Bitcoin has gone through hell and back. It has been punched and beat up and stomped on and hated on, and it only grows bigger. I cannot see a future, just like with the internet, where internet, at first, it was a fringe, like it was a minority that was using the internet. People actually laughed at the internet. People laughed at the computer. I don't see a place where the internet isn't bigger. I don't see a place where AI isn't bigger. And I don't see a future where crypto, the market cap, this space, how we interact, how social media platforms will be able to, you'll be able to send me crypto over YouTube, 100% guaranteed. If you're a creator or of some sort, you'll be able to click a button and bam, you sent me a sat. You sent me 10 cents. You sent me 30 cents. On Facebook Marketplace, I guarantee you, I can guarantee you there's a future, very quick future where Facebook Marketplace, again, we're talking centralized here, but most people don't care to have it fully decentralized, especially if it's on a trusted platform. But I can promise you, screenshot this and in 5 years, we'll see who's right, because I will be. Facebook Marketplace, you'll be able to, there's an $80 chair you want to buy or an $800,000 McLaren. that you want to buy, you'll be able to send USDC to the Facebook marketplace. It'll hold it in escrow in some way, shape, or form. The transaction will happen and the funds will be released. Guarantee you. YouTube, you'll be able to send me stable or Bitcoin or memes and things of that nature. Twitter, 100%. I believe Twitter, you already can, can't you? There's some creator thing. The market cap will only grow because the use of it will become easier. We are super early. And so when someone asks me, is now a good time to get in? I'm always like, yes. It is a good time to get in. We can't time the markets. It is a good time to start yield farming. It is a good time to start building your bull run bag. It is a good time to start dollar cost averaging. If you're playing the long game, if you are playing over the next 6 months or 1 year, then you're timing things. And nothing wrong with that, but you better be damn good. You better be damn good. Most people who are trying to time the markets lose and that's why I love yield farming. Last week, this week alone in just one portfolio, I think I'm at, where am I? I'm at $860. That's one portfolio out of 4. And that's since Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Today's Wednesday or today's Thursday. It's one of those. $860 in one portfolio. Now, the value of that portfolio has gone up and down because crypto took some big swings over the last few days. The value has gone up and down, but I don't care. I'm for asset accumulation. I'm going to share something. We cool to get going? I got 100% yes, yes, much bigger, yes, 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 bam, 100%. I will do a bit of a Q&A at the end here. We got about 45 minutes together, so I really want to get into this, and then we'll do a bit of a Q&A. Can I pin this somehow? I can put users in timeout. I want to test it on someone. I can put you on timeout. I like that. Ban user, delete their comments. I like hecklers, though. We don't have many, but sometimes they do show up. Okay. What did I want to show you here? I wanted to show you the Miro. Can you see my screen right now? No, you cannot. Can you see my screen now? Yes, you can. Awesome. You've probably seen me draw this out. I started stacking crypto, and at some point, I'm like, I really understand money and finances. I grew up in a trailer park, and I did not have much. It was always like, nope, we can't afford it. Nope, it was scarcity, scarcity, scarcity. So early on, as a kid, I made a vow to like, I'm gonna have so much freaking money that I can buy all the toys I want, and call that, an overcompensation. But I studied finance. I studied financial books. I never went to university, never went to college. You don't need any of that crap. If you have it, awesome. If you don't let that hold you back. I started studying money, started studying finance, started trying to wrap my head around why do some people have a lot and why do most people not have any? And those who don't have much actually work harder typically than those who do. And from my research, shout out to those who used to go to the library back in the day, because I definitely did. I realized that, almost all of them invested. I was like, okay, well, let me figure out this investment thing. And I wasn't making a lot of money, just so you know. At 26, 27, I was riding a pedal bike to the grocery store to bomb down to my $500 basement suite. And I was studying investing. I was studying business. I was studying all these things. And I was trying to live well below my means because I was investing at that time in traditional markets. That was about a decade ago. Index funds, basically. And every time I invested $100 in index funds, I was like, I'm going to make $8 this year. And if I can invest $200, that's $16 this year on average, if I make 8%. And $16, that's what I was making per hour back then. So that's 1 hour of my time to just invest money and do nothing else. It blew my mind. I need to drive this point home because freaking 80% of y'all, and I say this with freaking love, sort of, 80% of y'all are gamblers. If I said, hey, you can make $10 this year by clicking a button and then doing nothing for the rest of the year, most people would turn their nose up at that. To me, I was like, well, if I invest $100, I make $8 over the year. I don't have to do anything for it. That is $8 for 0 of my time. That's an infinite return. That's an infinite return on my time. And so I was just living below my means and I was just investing in traditional markets. I was happy to make 8, 10. If I made 10%, I was over the moon. So let's just call it 10% to make the numbers easy here. Eventually, I had $10,000 invested in traditional markets. That was $1,000 a year. That blew my mind. That was like a week's worth of work, hard work, or 2 weeks. It blew my mind. I'm like, you mean I could take a week and a half off and I would get paid? It blew my mind. So don't even get me started when I started discovering that I could make 40, 50% returns in DeFi, let alone 80 and 100%. Whereas I think so many people in this space look at 40% and they're like, not worth my time, yet they're broke. Is it okay if I'm just super honest and just hit it straight on this live call? I want to get permission so I don't my intention is not to offend or beat anyone down. I want to make sure you know that. I hope you know my intention is I just want to lift people up and help you win. I'm not, I don't want to make you feel bad, but I do want us to look in the mirror. I want us to win, just so we're clear. So that was kind of my start. And then I got obsessed with it. I'm like, okay, let me invest a little bit more. Let me invest. Every $100 I invested mattered. There wasn't the internet and the access to information as it is now, and there wasn't crypto and there wasn't DeFi. When I discovered crypto DeFi, I basically went all in. I paid massive tax to move money off traditional investment accounts to move it into crypto. This year alone, you would I I know because I have to do my taxes soon, but I know what I earned this year on capital gains, and the DeFi fed a lot of those capital gains. It's ridiculous. I'd have to work 15 years. My 28-year-old would have to work 15 years to do what I did last year. But it started with a couple $100 and a couple hundred more. Don't forget that. Sometimes we see someone, you might see me or someone well beyond where I'm at because I'm just a little peon. Like there are people who, they're like, do we want the $150 million home or do we want the $180 million home? I don't know. Maybe we'll just get both. There are people in the world like that, just so you know. And that's attainable to anyone who wants that. That's literally a goal for me. Is like, we're trying to decide between a house. Let's just get both. Done. Whatever. Let's just get both. Pretty cool. I kind of want this car. I want this one, but I want that one. Let's just get both. Perfect. Done. Then not everyone, of course, wants that because that, a big life comes with big problems. And whatever you want, I just want you to be real and unapologetic with what you want. If you want a ton and you let the world know that and people around you are like, dude, why do you need all that? Don't apologize for it. Or if you want a simple life and you want to surf during the day and run a cool surf shop down in Baja, California, do it. Don't let anyone else tell you that you're thinking too small. If that is your dream, that's your dream. And then be open-minded to letting your dreams change and evolve. So the point is, and I hope that this is really heard. I was on a live call in the UIG and someone said I should share this more. So I'm going to do the best because sometimes people don't see the start. Again, just put yourself in my position. 27, was trying to figure business out, quit the oil rigs, was losing everything around me, moved into a basement suite with it was a Indian family above me. They were awesome people. There was mom, dad, and like 5 kids. They were always stomping around. They had a basement suite for me. This is in North Van off I think it's 5th. There was a basement suite, a little hot plate because there was no stove or there was no oven or whatever, and shared backyard. I sold my vehicles because I wanted to start investing, and and um and I rode a pedal bike to the grocery store. So wherever you're at, do not let that. Yeah, Daniel, we'll get into it. This is important. Do not compare yourself to anyone else and rush the process. If you have $1 today, go invest that dollar and just start with $1. Deal? Yeah, patience, Daniel. Deal? Because I know we jump on these calls or we see YouTube or we see someone else and we just want what they have. Start with $1. Sweet. Alrighty, Daniel's going to be a happy boy here. Add to stage. There we go. I started stacking crypto and I asked myself, how can I cash flow this crypto? I see my portfolio like my treasury. Repeat that after me. My treasury. This is my vault. I love looking at it this way, actually. I love this. You have your bonus points to whomever can guess what this is. This is not supposed to be a house, by the way. This is a. There we go. That'll make it more obvious. This is your castle. And in your castle, you have a massive ass vault. You are the king, you are the queen of your castle. This is your treasury. This is your armory. This is your vault. This is where the gold is held. And we don't do gold, we do digital gold. Although if you have gold, that's cool too. This is your treasury. This is what feeds the empire. So far, so good. Now, from that, I started asking myself the question, well, just to have a massive treasury or a massive crypto portfolio or a massive, real estate portfolio, you can borrow against real estate. Just to have it is sort of kind of useless. Like if I was like, hey, I have 3 rental homes, you'd be like, sweet, what do they earn? I'm like, oh, nothing. I'm just holding them. You'd be like, but you could rent them. And I was like, I don't want to. I just want to hold them. Maybe there's a time and place for that, but for the most part, you'd be like, but yeah. And I was just like, I'm just waiting for appreciation. You'd be like, yeah, but you can cash flow it. People in real estate understand that, but sometimes in traditional investing, we just buy and hold a stock or we buy and hold Bitcoin and we don't think about how to actually cash flow it. So I asked myself the question, how can I cash flow it? How could I unlock liquidity? You could borrow against that, or you don't have to either. You don't have to take on debt, but if you're long the assets, you can borrow against it. You can cash flow that crypto. And I use the word compound because people understand it, but what I really would like to communicate is you're building velocity. If compound interest is this, hey, over 40 years, you can get your financial goal. Velocity would be like, okay, let's start. Good. You put in 100, you're earning yields on that 100, you get your 100 out, you reinvest that 100. And there's these like big, it would actually be twice as big every single time, but you get the point. There's these big leaps. Velocity, you're building speed. And then it's like it's not just building speed. One car you're driving, okay, this is velocity. You have I like this. You have a moving company and you have one moving truck and that thing is constantly working for you, getting a little more efficient. Then you're taking that money, you're investing it, and you're slowly getting this. Velocity would be you have a moving truck, you earn enough for your next moving truck, so you buy another moving truck. Now you have 2 working for you, compounding. But you have 2. The velocity is increasing. This is super important, by the way. Think about this in every area of your life. We would understand this in real estate. Oh, you buy a property, you cash flow that property, and then you build equity in that property, and then you take that, you roll it, and you get 2. Then you get 4, and then you get 8. Then you get an apartment or a duplex, and then you get an apartment. Then you buy a whole building. Then you're buying hotels. That's how people in real estate do it. We can do it here too. Then you have 4 moving trucks working for you. Then you have 6. Then you have 10. And you're still compounding, but it's times 10. Does that make sense? I'm going to pause there just to make sure that lands. Yes, we are live. Good. Hi, Andy. This is Dad. We got father-son team. Think about that in your portfolio. You start a position. We talked about it. Start with what you got. Start with $100. I don't care. $1,000, $500. I don't care. Earn the yield, and then you can roll that, and you can start opening up different cash engines. We can call it. You got different engines. All right, back to it. So we can look at it like this. You have your castle. This is your vault. That's your castle. Then around it, you start having your little empire. You have farms, right? You start with one farm, you produce some goods, then you take those goods, bring it back into your treasury. And then from your treasury, you start your second farm. And then maybe you start a little, I don't know, sword making business over here. Then you start something else here and you keep expanding your empire instead of just relying on one farm and then feeding your treasury. And the goal for me was, how can my lifestyle be funded? How can I? This is actually super important. I want to drive this point home. And then I want to answer some questions, if any. Okay, remove. If at 27, I'm riding my pedal bike to the store, it was, my ego hated it. Like, I was like dead inside. But I knew that if I can compound and front load, if I can front load my investing journey, then in the future, it'll massively pay off. Maybe 5 years later, I started doing well, what I thought was well at the time. And I joined a mastermind, which was a lot for me at the time. It was 30K. And there was guys there making about as much as me, and they were buying Rolexes and fancy things. And I was like, yeah, I could. But what if I just delay gratification for just a few more years and I really start investing this? That's actually when I went pretty heavy in crypto. So I can build even more velocity. So at some point, I don't have to be dependent on work for income. Now, most of these guys that was in the mastermind, they're not in business anymore. I guarantee they don't have Rolexes and cars anymore. If they would have just delayed a little bit further and invested it in something that produced cash for them, whether they showed up or not, they could still live their life. And to me, the game, let me know if you're aligned with this. To me, the game is like, we are all the game for me is not to never trade my time for money again, meaning make so much money from my investments and cash out and then retire, sit on a beach and do nothing for the next 40 years. That sounds like the worst sentence that you could ever give me. I love creating, I love building, I love doing things that I want to do. And that doesn't have to be in business for you. It could mean working somewhere where you actually feel like you're contributing to something, doing something that's meaningful to you. I don't understand why people don't want to work. I'll never understand it. It's actually one of the first gifts we were given as humans is work. It's what we're built for. But to me, it's work that's meaningful. It's work that means something. And so to me, the game was to invest, 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 and create such an awesome, not only cash buffer, but income that if I want to make a pivot in my life, a shift in my life, I can. If I want to start something new, if I'm called to something, if I love a challenge, I wake up every single day, and as long as I have challenges and problems in front of me, I'm very engaged with life. I want problems to solve. I want to wake up and be challenged. That's where growth happens. Blows my mind that people think that, talk to lottery winners or study them. Most of them miserable after they got the money. Miserable. Easy come, easy go, but also no purpose, no direction. The majority of them. And then they lost it all. We're built to work. We're built to solve problems and move through challenges. Okay, think about some of the most exciting times in your life. I can almost guarantee you were building something, you were solving something, you were on some adventure, and there were some problems to solve. I think about some of my favorite trips, and it's like when the car broke down. It's like really fond memories. Or something happened and it was like, oh damn, now we got to solve this thing. And it's just like, it's fun. It's an adventure. Cool. Let me go back to it. Let me know in the comments if this makes sense. Now, when you do this, remember your earnings are not just what you're making on your cash flow. So I know I did a video on this recently, but I just want to cover it really quick. Let's just say you're earning 60% on your ETH, and your ETH is worth $2,500, and let's just say you have 10, so you have $25,000. So you earn, and again, this is napkin math in a perfect world. Crypto doesn't move perfectly, but just bear with me. You earn $15,000 in ETH, but you You earn $15,000 in ETH because you hold that ETH. Let's just say you move it in your treasury. So, um, so you have $9,300 profits. You're where am I here? I'll go back a second. You also have the original ETH. And again, DeFi and crypto doesn't exactly work this way, but you get the point. You can't forget about the appreciation of an asset. So sometimes people ask me, can you make money in the bear market? I'm like, you make ridiculous money in the bear market. Yes, the yields may be lower because the volume is lower, but the assets you're earning are massively underappreciated. So they will appreciate. So you stack them, you build your bull run bag. So if you're earning yield in ETH, and you're moving that yield into your treasury, then your treasury goes up by 5x, which is not unrealistic because that's what we're up so far this year. Then let's just say you were, and again, this isn't perfect math, but let's just say during a bear market, you only earned 40% and you put everything into your treasury. And then at 5x, what did you actually earn? It won't be the perfect math of 200%, but it'll be much higher than 40%. And that's also dependent on where and what you invested in, because maybe you invested in some alts that did a 10 or 15x. We were yield farming ETH, and now ETH is up like let's just say 2x. I was earning 140% on my ETH quite regularly, and then ETH doubled in price. What did I actually earn? You have to think through that. Most are playing a very short game, and because they're playing the short game, they're trying to time the markets. They're getting burned. They're entering and exiting with all their liquidity all of the time, and they're locking in a crap ton of impermanent loss, and they wonder why their P&L isn't actually growing. Who can relate and who's ready to freaking end that? Where are we at here with time? Okay, cool. We got 15 minutes. How are we feeling? Any specific question pop up? I'll let them kind of come through. I'm gonna pound through questions, see how I can support, and maybe I'll share. Okay, here's a really good idea. So here's an ETH portfolio. Here's an ETH portfolio. Perfect. Two positions out of range because this ETH. So I build portfolios like this. I'm like, I'll have a treasury of ETH and I borrow against the ETH. I have another portfolio, the treasury of Bitcoin. I borrow against the Bitcoin. Two positions are offline right now because ETH has been shooting up recently. A lot of these positions are actually creeping to the upside. So my overall portfolio is actually up quite a bit. This is bouncing around from, I don't know, 40% to like 120% quite regularly here. This is in the last week. So I bet you I've been doing about $150 per day. So right now it's just showing fairly low. I also have two positions that just went out of range. I borrow against this ETH. I unlock liquidity and then I deploy it. And I am long ETH. So even if ETH starts dropping and I'm pushed out of range on some of these, I'm winning because I'm accumulating more ETH. Does that make sense? I'm going to stop sharing for a sec because I want to share one thing here. There we go. Awesome. Um, Let me know if you have any specific questions for me. I want to show you our tool really quick. We are very close to rolling this out. UIG and Fast Track clients will get first access. If you are in the UIG, big shout out. Let us know in the comments. Also, please keep your ears open in the UIG we're going to gather our first testers pretty soon. We just finished the simulator for your liquidity pools, and you'll be able to simulate positions, back test up to 365 days, be able to see where the liquidity is distributed, be able to see volume history for up to a year. We're still scrubbing or data to round a lot of this out. Super, super dope. I'm going to stop sharing for a sec because I need to open up another link for you. We are going to have, this is really cool. We're going to have a liquidity pool finder, kind of an opportunity finder. And what's also going to be cool is we're going to be able to take it through our filters. That's not done yet, but we'll be able to take it through our filter and only show you the best of the best. By the way, I don't know if you know this, but this tool will be free. It is costing us a lot of time and a lot of money to build it, and it will cost a lot of money to upkeep it, but it's going to be free. So take every paid tool you have access to, every tool that you use. We're building an all-in-one tool. It's going to be free. We guarantee it. There will be couple features that are locked just for UIG and Fast Track clients because it's there's also going to be ties to the UIG and Fast Track, and we're going to have different kind of a portfolio tracking thing that also shows other users' portfolios, and you're going to be able to screenshot it and simulate all this cool stuff. So like a community behind the scenes. But for everything you need to be successful in this space, every feature, nothing will be locked behind some pro account or some paid account. It's going to be free. I keep saying crypto DeFi has changed my life in every single way. It's given me everything I wanted. It stirred a passion in me that I don't know I had. It built Cryptolabs on top of it. It's like every dream I've ever had, it's been accomplished. Crypto and DeFi helped with that. It's a very large, but token of appreciation back to the space, and I just want to make that journey easier. It's what keeps us doing these YouTube videos. It's what's showing. It's what's um, motivating us to build this tool, and so it's going to be our contribution back. And I'm excited to have tens, if not hundreds, of thousands of people using this tool and literally making money because of it. It's gonna be pretty cool. What else could I show you? That's pretty much it. There's another feature that's kind of like debank. So you can track your portfolio, see your portfolios, see your wallets, connect your wallets. I could show you that if you want. Um, and if not, totally cool. Also, actually, it's an all-in-one. I can show you this really quick. It's an all-in-one tool also for your kind of like takes the place of coin market cap, shows you the latest news, blah, 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 blah. And when you actually go into an asset, like let's just say Bitcoin, it will give you this. So you've got your price charts, you've got all the information you need on it, and you can also do some charting, look at some indicators, make some decisions, make some choices. So you don't have to have like 8 tools open. You can just use one tool for everything. Pretty damn cool. Okay, let's answer some questions. I'll hang out for a few minutes extra here. Bear market strategy. If you're lending ETH on Aave, do you change the borrow USDC to ETH? What do you do with your pools? Convert to stable pools? So Nick, it depends on your time horizon. We're always taking profits, so I'm never worried with a sharp decline on the markets. If you look at the charts, let's just say of ETH, and you look at it long term, even if you lose 40% of your value overnight, it doesn't worry me. That said, everyone's going to play it a little bit differently. If you don't see a future for ETH, then yes, you're going to be very hands-on. You're going to want to be out of all your positions. You're going to want to try and time the top. You can use a ton of different indicators. You don't want to get caught, when things go haywire. That said, I also think there's a lot very different money in the markets than there was last cycle. I don't see the same amount of chaos happening again. Could be wrong, and I'm not worried about it. I know crypto's a 10 to 15 trillion dollar market cap, and I see that happening in the next few years. Actually, when it starts happening, it's going to happen quick. Where I wouldn't be surprised to see a 25 trillion dollar market cap. That's the game I'm playing. So my strategy is keep accumulating assets, keep taking profit on the side, and when there are market corrections, I can jump on more. I don't have to sell my positions or exit. That said, you will need cash on the sidelines because your positions are going to be converted all into ETH if you're in, let's just say, non-correlated, and you'll stack those in your portfolio. And yes, you will want to unlock more liquidity, which means you might want to borrow against. Now, you could short the markets and convert instead of borrowing ETH. You could borrow, or you could borrow ETH, convert it to stables, and pay back that ETH at and you keep the spread, you keep the margin, or you keep the profit from that decision, from that play. But you're gambling. Well, you're not gambling, you're timing. And if you're ready to do that and you're willing to do that, then absolutely do it. To me, I don't care. I'm going to be building twice as hard in the bear market. It makes sense, Henry. So I stagger my positions. So I stagger them from lowest range to highest range. So I have more chance of staying in range. And you'll see a lot of positions because as different positions, so this is borrowed capital, right, Henry? So the difference between that is I'm not missing out on the upside of my ETH. The last few days, I don't know what my portfolio is up, but I know it was in the let me have a peek here. Um, Where are we here? There we are. Yeah, the last 24 hours, my portfolio is up over 3%, which equates to a fairly large dollar. And a big piece of that looks like it was ETH. I don't miss it on the upside of ETH. So even if those two positions get converted into USDC, which you saw they were, I don't miss it on the upside. And then what I'll do is I will take that position that went out of range and open a new position on the bottom side. And I'm constantly staggering. I haven't done it because I wait 24 hours. That's our rule, 24-hour wait time, but you get the point. And yes, they're not massive different. They're not massively different. I follow between 10 to 15% and I stagger them up, stagger them down. I want the majority of my liquidity concentrated into a tighter range because I earn way more, obviously. One question, we must all be pros. I'm happy to help in any way I can. Lucas, do you think you'll have a discount coming for Fast Track? We've never had a discount. We don't do discounts. Our team works their ass off in Fast Track. Yeah, we don't discount efforts. Greetings from Kenya. Let's go. Any other question? Anything else I can help with? Start with what you got. Start small. In fact, I don't care if you have $100 million, I would still tell you, hey, start with a couple $100. Start with a few thousand. Let's start mastering this thing. If you can't make $1 off 100, you're not going to make $1 million off 10 million. It's just not going to happen. I'm really big on the game of doubles. Okay, fun little experiment here. Sweet. I see some questions coming in. I'll tackle them. Do you believe you could make $1 in DeFi this month? Now, if you answer yes to that, let's go for a double. Do you believe you could make 2? Then 4, then 8. And I've just always played the game of doubles. When I got into DeFi, I wanted $100 a week to pay for a date night. We were living in Mexico, and I was like, I'm going to make $100 a week, and that'll pay for date night. That's $400 a month. That was not going to change my life at all. It was not a lot of money to me, but I'm like, let's start with 100. It'll be a fun game. And once I figure out how to do 100, then let's go for 200. Then let's go 800. Let's go. You get the point. I think people, again, bite off more than they can chew. They want to make $10,000. And I'm like, but you haven't made $1 yet. You start $1, then you double. If you believe you could do $1, then just go to 2. And wherever you stop believing, you're like, I don't think I could make $680 this month. Sweet. Then that is your next target. Don't look at anyone else. And then once you start making 680, let's just double it. I'm just throwing out random numbers. You get the point. Lucas, what's the best pair right now in your opinion? BTC ETH, ETH USDC, BTC USDC, wrapped ETH, wrapped Bitcoin. Actually, wow, I'm pulling a blank. CBBTC. I'm so blue chippy, it's not even funny. I can make 80% on blue chips. Thank you very much. Less volatility, but just as much trading volume, if not more, because the market caps are bigger. So less volatility for me, which means I can stay in range way longer, yet a ton of volume, meaning I earn, versus something smaller market cap, which has a lot of volume, which creates a ton of volatility because the market caps are smaller, and now you're constantly locking in permanent loss, chasing yields, etc. Let's go. I just made $1 and then some during this video. Love the UIG. Matthew, thanks for the love. Let's go. Dude, I don't know how long we've been going, 30 minutes or whatever. That's $1. Now, to some, they'll say, that's nothing. To me, I'm just like, you didn't have to trade your time for it. That's, in my calculation, $12 to $20 per day, even when you're sleeping. And now you just go for a double. Vaults on Crystal. Dude, Warren, yes, go forth. And that's your only goal. Don't look at anyone else's. That's $300 a month. Totally doable. Hit it. And don't gamble on anything beyond that. If you see an opportunity where you're like, oh, I can make $100 and today, don't do it. $10 a day. Get that consistent and then double it. And with the velocity of money, you take that 300 and you reinvest it, not into the same stuff, but into new opportunities. That's like one moving truck turns into two, turns into four, turns into eight. Yeah, I'm not a big fan, to be honest with you. I've played with it, I've tried it, I've built portfolios on it, and it I think for a certain type of individual, they can be valuable. And I love Crystal, by the way. I think Crystal's a great tool. Um, that's just my personal opinion. Correct. Do you use LP positions mainly for cash flow? That is correct. You're okay with the impermanent loss when they get exited on the upside? Yes. Yes, because I'm borrowing against ETH in this position. So, the impermanent loss is kind of hedged out, so to speak. Does that make sense? My ETH is appreciating like crazy. I'm using this for cash flow to reinvest. I keep the ETH. I win. I win in this scenario because I am asset appreciation. I have 2 ETH today. By the end of the week, I want 2.1 ETH. And if I'm in range for a long time and not much volatility, then no problem. I'm taking my profit and buying back more ETH, building my treasury, my vault. If things move to the downside, sweet. I'm buying more ETH. And at the end of the week, I now have 2.1 or 2.2 ETH. Because I know ETH is a 5K asset in the near future. So I am winning. So I don't get um I don't get attached to the daily dollar number of my portfolio. If anything, I get attached or I tracked asset accumulation. Do I have more assets this week than I did last week? If the answer is yes, I am winning. Does that make sense? Dude, let's go. I'm loving this. Um, this is a bit of a we have a rule of thumb, which is the 10% rule. If my um, LP portfolio is up by 10% in dollar value, I will take profit. That's not a hard and fast rule. That's just a rule of thumb. Well, lending and borrowing, when should you start to rotate your appreciating asset into stable coins? Depends on your ladder out points and depends on your time horizon. So if you're playing this cycle, maybe you're looking at some moving averages, maybe you're looking at the rainbow chart, maybe you're looking at a few different indicators, and you're like, this is my ladder out positions. I would ladder out when I hit those ladder out points. If you're playing the 10-year game, your ladder out point might be very, very different. Also note, crypto and DeFi should be tied to your personal goals. Do you need the cash? What do you need it for? You're looking to pay down your mortgage? Are you looking to buy your parents a house? Like that's gonna dictate your decision making as well. I see this. This is one of the first things we do in the UIG, by the way. Everyone in the freaking UIG, you better have done this. I swear to God. But it's like your business map. Colin is a pro at teaching this. Everyone in here is going to be different. You might be taking profits early because you're looking to pay the rest of your mortgage off or invest in this business or do something. And someone else might look at you and say, why are you exiting? You could make so much more money. But you're like, yeah, but you don't know my personal financial goals and targets. Does that make sense? All right, let's go. Let's go. What do we got here? Just to give people that are on the fence the other night, went to Phantom, cashed out my earnings on Orca. Orca's freaking bumping, John. Transferred to Coinbase, paid in crypto without going to my main checking account. We get those messages in the UIG a lot, and I hope YouTube is well. I hope there's people on YouTube who also have their business map. John, I can almost guarantee you, John has done his business map. The point is to fund your lifestyle. To not have to dip into your checking account and pay for things through the yields and through the profits you take from your crypto portfolio is like you are winning life. You're not trading your time for the money to pay the bill. Your money is paying the bills. Your money is making money to pay the bills. Take percentages on the way up. You'll never time the top. Corey, were you here last cycle? If you were, did you try to time the top and were you successful? It is pure luck. You're either going to be super early and miss out on a big run, or you're going to think it's going to keep running. It's so hard to get. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? Oh, and you paid for dinner. Awesome. What do we got here? What do you got here? Been running a vault for my friend who didn't want to learn how to working. Awesome. I'll have to revisit it. It is cool because you can build your vaults and then people can also invest in the vaults. It is cool. Or you can find vaults that are working, invest in them. There we go. Nick says the blue chip you mentioned, BTC ETH, all that kind of stuff. Also SPX ETH prints. Thank you for that. Hopefully y'all can get a little from Nick there. Do you put it back on Avi, for example? Yes, I'm either paying back debt depending what the markets are doing, or I'm building my treasury. Um, in a way, you're doing both when you do that. If you're paying down debt, in a way, you are building your treasury, so to speak, or I'm directly buying back more ETH. When ETH dropped heavy, I was buying back a shit ton of ETH. Now I'm paying back some of that debt. ETH doubled, so the debt's easy to pay off. Yes, this is good. Spot and LPs are two separate things. Don't try to use LPs for price appreciation. Huge. Thank you for adding that. I scrub profits off the top, but I have never sold everything. I take profits off the top when I hit ladder out points. I had a ladder out point at $100,000 with BTC, and that did fund a few things in my lifetime or in my life. I'm a huge car guy, so it did fund a car, actually two, but boom. And I have another ladder out point in mind. This is an ETH ladder out point. We're almost touching it. That's going to fund a McLaren 720S, which is going to be badass. And I'm keeping the Lambo, and they're both going to be black, and they're both going to be sick. So yes, I do scrub profits 100%. Again, everyone's got a different time horizon. All righty, what do we got here? We are almost through. I do got to go. Was there something? Do you want me to do these more often? I love connecting with y'all. By the way, if this was valuable and you want me to continue doing these, maybe we can make them a little more. Maybe next one we can do um, a pure Q&A. Like anything you got, then I can pop up browsers and we can go into stuff. We can have some fun, etc. I lend USDC 100%, 8.9. Yes. Borrow 4.6. Loop that 100%. Yep, that works, Eddie. There's a huge arbitrage between Aave and XtraFi. Actually, a solid strategy for reals on stables. You can also check out Pendle for stable yields. There's some really cool stuff going on with Pendle. This is I want to hit this. This is really good. I don't believe we're at all-time highs, first of all. Maybe for the short term, but not the long term. Two, I don't know if this is what Daniel means, but when the markets are ripping and only going up, in theory, yes, to just buy BTC and hold it, we're just using BTC as an example, you would do better. When the markets are sideways and only going sideways, then you're not better. You're better going all in on DeFi. The problem is we never know which is going to happen. And so I just want exposure to both. And I want to keep buying more Bitcoin in this example with my DeFi portfolio. And there was 3 or 4 months where things were perfectly sideways. My bull run portfolio did not do anything. But my crypto made me tens of thousands of dollars that built my bull run bag. Then there have been times where things are ripping, all my positions are out of range. I'm moved to the upside, and yes, in theory, I would have been better just holding. But to guess what's going to happen in the market is impossible. Well, you can guess, but you're probably going to be wrong half the time. And I'm patient. I did not build the wealth and the life I built by not being patient. I shared in the start of this. I was investing $100 and I knew I was going to make $8 to $10 that year that I didn't have to work for. That to me, that blew my mind. Every time I invested $100, I earned an hour of my time back. It blew my mind. I don't know where I got that mentality. It seems like maybe I'm freaking old. I don't know. maybe like this the new generation, which I have so much love and respect for. The one thing I think they're missing is patience. Everything's just so quick and easy. I'm not saying you, Daniel. I'm just hopefully you get what I'm saying. Alrighty. Good. Good. We're gonna have to keep this going. Yes, 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 yes. Good. We will keep it going. I've got to dip. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, let's go. Good advice from everyone for Daniel. Again, there's no right or wrong. You can play the game however you want. Um, you can exit the markets now if you think it's the top. Totally. Um, Statistically, people who try and time the markets, and maybe Daniel's a unicorn. Statistically, the people who time the market, they don't enter because they think it's the top. So they miss out on a ton. And then everything crashes and they actually have an opportunity to join. I was screaming from the rooftop when ETH dropped. There's a lot of people who were like, they were just terrified to get in. They were waiting for an opportunity, and when the opportunity came, they never got in. And then eventually they start chasing things. This is statistic. You can look this up. The numbers are there. They're like, okay, well, I think it's the top. I'm not going to get in. I sell everything or whatever. Then everything crashes and they actually have an opportunity, but they don't seize it because they're terrified. And then things bounce back. Eventually, after 2 or 3 of those, they buy the bounce. And then things crash. They sell the bottom. They do that 2 or 3. They end up worse off than they were. I'm not a genius and I'm not that smart. And I know that, and I'm cool to admit it. I can't time the markets. I probably will get it wrong. I'm not playing that game. What I will play is asset accumulation, hold for the long term. Ladder out. My strategy is set. I'm cool. I don't care if that first ladder up point is 1 month from now or 6 months from now. I have my strategy set. I follow the plan. I don't get emotional, and I have some on the sidelines, especially when I take profits, so I can redeploy it when everyone else is emotional. This game is not that hard. It is, 99%, I'd say, mindset and emotional regulation and control, and having a plan, strategy, having a plan coming in that helps keep your emotions at bay. Most lose because they have none of that. Again, this YouTube channel is here. Is everyone subscribed to this YouTube channel? If you're not, please hit that subscribe button. Check out some recent videos. Comments help us a ton, by the way. So if you're, if you get value from what we do, comment on videos. Like, they're free. We don't even monetize this channel. There's no ads that pop up. All we would ask is engage, check out the videos, and maybe if there's a video that actually helped you or that you think could help someone else, share it with a community or with someone you know, or if you're part of a community, share this channel with them. Helps us out a ton. That's my only ask. If we have our, I will share this. I actually wasn't planning on doing it because I don't like freaking pitch fests. I'm like, if you want it, you want it. If you don't, you don't. What we do is I mean, it's changing people's lives every single day. We see it. We're heavy in building team right now. Oh, why can't I enter this? Um, Actually, let me drop a link for joining the team. There's going to be a little more details on it, but we are deep in looking for the next. Why can't I? Something's not working, huh? Anyway, I don't know. Maybe our website's not working. I don't know what's going on, but weird. Okay, well, scrap that idea. But there will be a video coming out in the next few weeks where there will be, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Something weird's going on. Where there will be, let me find y'all's, where there will be there's a hiring post and there's a post for our event. We're doing a event in end of January in LA. Last event was almost sold out, and that was in Kelowna, very hard city to get to. We're doing an event in LA end of January. Ton of clients, ton of members. The entire team's going to be there for 2 to 3 days, depending on which one you decide to join. We are deep in, deep in crypto, DeFi investing mindset type stuff. We're planning on doing these quarterly in the future. For now, this will be twice a year type thing. And we'd love to see you there. We'd love to have you there. We're also hiring like crazy. We're building software right now. UIG is growing, Fast Track's growing. We're expanding on multiple fronts. We want clients and members to have more support, and we're always looking for some really, really awesome humans to help. So I'm going to take a look at the website, see why it's down. The link's going to be cryptolabsresearch.com/event and /hiring for either of the two. Of course, we'd love to have you in the UIG and in our community to be able to chat with you more regularly. The whole team is in there doing lives almost every single day. And Fast Track, there's now 9 hours of support calls every single week. So we've massively restructured Fast Track. We're always looking for some awesome clients. We will probably talk. I was on a call with someone today. I was literally trying to talk them out of it. I was like, you've got to put in the work and this and this and this. And so you know, and here's expectations. And of course, they're still pumped to join, which tells me they are a perfect fit, which excites us for that. But yeah, something's really weird with the website. Maybe it's fixed. I don't know. Anyway, I don't have time to problem solve that after. Maybe we, yeah. Anyway, okay. With that said, appreciate y'all's. Save that link in your browser. We'll get the website back up, and we'd love to have you join us either in the community or on the team. With that said, we'll do another one of these maybe in the next 2 weeks if y'all's want. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone that maybe needs a little DeFi tune-up. With that said, I'll see y'all soon.